Yes, bro. Cosmic Conversations, episode 7.5. I had to come close to you with the drawing because I feel like this is going to click this episode. If it didn't click before, the geometry, everything that we got set up here should click it. So, when we're talking about imagination, just basically, imagination is your spirit. Like, if you just imagining the perfect representation of who you are, who you want to be, whatever. If you can sit here and imagine that, know that those are the light forms, those are the thoughts, the building blocks that best represent what cannot be represented, right? Because we are all very unique individual spirits. And as spirits, we then choose to express how unique we are with the shapes and forms that we produce and the feelings and thoughts that we create. Because, we're nothing. Like, without that, we are nothing. That's being asleep. That's being unaware. Like, we create awareness and we create these shapes to be aware in. And we're creating everything together. This is why it's really frustrating to me as Thoth when I come into a realm and I see that almost everyone's imaginations are hijacked by an idea that they did not create. An idea that was created by another spirit to trap them inside of a portion of all possibilities, of all imagination. Because you need to see, like, that's, for example, what a religion is. Like, there's so many religions. Like, to say that there's one true religion is so unempathetic and so negative and so mean to me. Like, it's literally discounting so many. It makes no sense logically or emotionally. So a religion like that is just like everything else, an idea. And for you to be open to a problem that involves an idea, because an idea is just balance in and of itself. But for us to grow, we need to throw off equilibrium and gain it again, right? Like a roller coaster or just working out in general. You don't work out from keeping the weight in the strongest position. You need to throw it off equilibrium, make it a problem for your muscles to lift, and then get stronger through dealing with those problems. And then, keep reaching that blah, 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 blah. This is everything, guys. Like, when we're talking about how thoughts work, and the best way I can use English right now, this is why I feel like this is so important. Because you'll be able to see how everything in this world, and just like everything in general, considering like the mental state, revolves around everything being possible, but only choosing to experience part of that. So that's what we're talking about with the spirit being all possibilities. Your soul would be what you believe in, your be life. So when you believe in something, you are putting your soul, your emotion, your water into that idea so that it can grow. So, for example, like when I say that this is what the Native Americans dealt with when the Europeans came over, and they're like, oh, who are you? Thanks for teaching us how to live here. Oh, let's build a relationship. But at the same time, our God tells us that anyone who doesn't believe in him for some reason, although I'm pretty sure it's stuff that they're making up, so I shouldn't even say our God tells us, but this is them, right? Saying that if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to go to hell. So the Europeans, no matter how beautiful or loving the Native Americans were, because they were bought into the idea, they put their souls into the idea that anyone who does not have Jesus as a Lord and Savior is going to go to hell, then, they raped and murdered all of them and still do to this day in the name of Christianity, and it's valid in their eyes because those entities, the Native Americans that they're enslaving, did not convert into their box. So because the Native Americans are out here way more in actual spirituality world, right, where it's actually all possibilities and appreciating nature, because they did not conform to the box that the Europeans brought over, the Europeans felt like they were socially and morally justified to do very evil things and continue to do very evil things and build a society off of it. It doesn't make sense at all in any way, shape, or form. But when we're talking about how strong an idea is, like, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is what this nation is built on, is the idea of separation. Like, let's get into a few examples for real. An idea. Gas. Bro, gas. What's the problem? The problem is that you need gas to drive your car. Now, again, all things are possible. Alright, you can do anything. But because you bought into the idea of the gas industry, and just like living in this society in general, right? Because it's kind of impossible not to operate within all the ideas that the society is built on. So this is what we're talking about with ideas and how it's trapping you. This is like society when you think about everything being possible, right? So depending on what ideas build that society, that will result in certain problems and solutions and conclusions. Look, an idea, gas industry. The problem, you need gas to drive your car. The solution is that you go to work and slave away and give your time so that you can get money to pay for gas so that you can drive. Great. That's your experience right there. Here you are. The idea is that you need gas. The problem, you don't have enough money for gas. You work a job to get that money for gas. What's the conclusion though? Because the people who set up this idea are over here getting super rich. Super rich. They made up money in the first place. Super made it. They didn't. They co-opted it. Super rich from convincing you that you needed gas and to use their system. And they are getting all your time. They're getting all your energy. They are getting all the benefits from you getting all the problems. See, the conclusion is the benefit, the positive. The problem is a negative. And when you buy into an idea that you did not create, you are susceptible to that person just creating problems for you. And then they give you a solution and good. But the conclusion is never actually good for you. Boom. Idea. Coronavirus. What's the problem? You might die if you don't get this vaccine. The solution? Get the vaccine. What's the conclusion? They actually inject you with the virus. They actually get more control over your body. It's actually more just like profit for them. Create so many conclusions, so many benefits that the government and the entities who made you think that you are going to die from a virus get. When if you didn't even think you would die from a virus, you would not be susceptible to this hell. Just like if you don't think you're going to go to hell, then you don't need Jesus as a solution. So you can't get trapped in that reality of this world, heaven and hell being the only places that exist. That's insane, guys. That's insane. Like, if your view of spirituality is literally earth, heaven, and hell, you are in such a small fucked up box that is all possibilities. And that's why I'm here, because that's wild. And that's what's stopping the flow of actual imagination. That's what's stopping the positive spread of the universe overall, is that everyone's minds are getting hijacked by ideas that are largely created by the same white supremacist looking entity down here. Light supremacists, really. Another idea, money, right? Just think of, you would not feel like you needed to get a job, which is a problem, to get money, right? So the idea is that you need money, or the idea is money in general. The problem is you need money. So the solution is you sell your time. And we're talking like, this is what our whole lives are about, right? Like, this is not what this realm was meant for. To get born with a social security number, and then you're like, oh, okay, the idea is money. So when you're a kid and you're in school at first grade and they're already telling you, what job do you want? What the fuck is a job? It is a problem that they created. I mean, it's a problem. It's a solution that they created for the problem that they created for you. They're like, oh shit, you need money because our ancestors raped and murdered all the people here and took their land. Oh, you're even a descendant from that? That's rough. Well, now you still need money because this is our shit now. We took it from you. It's our shit. And that's a problem. But luckily, we're going to indoctrinate you from fucking age of 3 all the way up to 18 to really 24 for like a lot of people. I mean, I graduated college at what, 22, and like that was just 4 years. So hella people are doing way more than that. It's full life indoctrination, all this school and education, and the only reason people go through it is because they're told that they'll get this solution. And this solution is having enough money to let them live, to let them eat, to let them be a human, right? Again, the government, the entities that literally set up that whole idea for you are building a whole heaven pyramid. Like you are in the hell pyramid that balances out this overall thought form. Because everything's balanced. They're in the heaven. Like you are constructing heaven for them. The more you think you need to go through their schools and you need to go through all their systems to get stability. But I mean, it's not your fault because this is slavery. Like they've enslaved you to need this, to do this. And it's really rough because it takes strong spirits to really start breaking out of this mentally. But you have to understand that everything happens spiritually first, and then mentally, and then physically. So, if you really want to see the physical change, like physical difference in your life, you need to mentally change first. And usually that involves spiritually changing, because most people are not even in their spirit to know who they truly are, to know what's really going on with them specifically. Because we're not talking about like knowing everything. This is just your space. This is what intuition is. This is just like life being a mirror, everything you need to know in your vicinity. But if your soul is conforming to another spirit, not even like your own, then you're disconnected. And that's how you get into a repeating legion. That's how they had to govern your mental state to get you to detach from your spirit and to live the idea of a different spirit, of something that you didn't create. And again, this isn't like a whole negative thing. We are all here learning from each other all the time, right? It's like we're always playing each other's video games, playing each other's simulations, and we are learning about ourselves based on how we interact inside of each simulation, inside of each projection of all these thought forms and lights and ideas, and how that's all inside of one imagination of a spirit, right? Like, look, in this imagination, I have 10 fingers. No matter how hard I think or what I do, my imagination is not going to overpower this one and create another hand. Like that would be triple blah type shit, you know? But because I can imagine it, I can do it in my spirit if I wanted to. That's just my space though. And if I created a space where other entities can come hang out, and part of the laws of physics are that they can do that, then that's possible there too. So that's what we're doing here, where we have agreed to this imagination. But we need to know that we, as spirits, are everything. And it's just about what awareness we play the game at, basically. That's why I can't force you to be more intelligent. I'm done trying to make people understand shit. So, hopefully, whoever enjoys this video, enjoys this video. And you get some valuable insight on how to break yourself out of any brainwashing that you may have going on. Like a huge idea growing up, especially, I see this in girls all the time, right? The Disney shit. Disney, you're not complete on your own. You need a lover. You need to get married, right? Like, that's the American dream, the pursuit of happiness. You're not already a spirit, bro. You're not already happy inside of yourself because you conform to this fucking idea that you are not enough on your own. The fuck? So now, because you're not enough, the problem is that you're alone. You don't have a partner. And that creates so many other that's so much hell that I see people in all the time, where because they are not happy alone due to conforming to the idea that they need a relationship, that like they have a soulmate, they whatever the fuck, they're not complete. That is so much hell and so many other problems. Like, you can see how this becomes infinitely geometric. Like, when I say this is how like light moves, guys, this is very much like, especially if you've done DMT or anything, you just see like those crazy lights. Like, those are all thoughts and opposing thoughts, and that's just how architecture works. So you can, like, there's so many other boxes that pop off of getting into the problem that arises from thinking that you need a relationship. So you're not happy alone, and then the solution is you get a partner. Great. So this society, Disney taught you that you needed to be with someone, so you feel alone, you're sad, and that's a problem, and you solve it by getting with someone. But like, that person's probably not the person you need to be with, which of course creates infinite problems. And this is what I see in relationships all the fucking time here. Y'all really need to be happy being alone. And it's because your spirit is alone, aka all one. That's why, oh my, I have to say this too. Don't let the spirits here convince you that everything is all one. It's right there in the word, guys. It's right there in the word. Everything is not all one. Okay, you are agreeing to be part of all. Everything that you can perceive is what you're connected to. But there's always going to be infinite things that you cannot perceive because you are not agreeing to be part of that all. Now, yes, everything is one universe, but when we're saying all one, that's alone. That is a spirit doing exactly what I'm saying, where it's trying to take your mental, it's trying to govern your mental state to get you trapped in a repeating legion so that it is all one. So that in its imagination, it is alone. And it has all these other unique spirits giving up their space to participate in its aloneness. But then when you become an individual and you break out and you're in your own spirit, this is why everyone is an individual spirit. And we all can do whatever we want. It's just about the awareness and the strength that we have to do said things and how much we believe in ourselves. But the spirits here have worked very hard to make you only believe in their ideas, in science, right? Like, an idea is science. Oh, I want to talk about that relationship shit too, by the way. Being stuck in a relationship here, you're fueling capitalism. Holy shit. Like, all these relationships where, like, guys think they can buy something for a girl. She thinks she can buy something for him. And they're, like, going out to eat dinner all the time. And they're driving around to places and taking vacation. Clearly, it's very profitable for the government, for the white supremacist slave system that wants you to add more currency to spend your money on them instead of on yourself, to make you think that you need to be with in a relationship, especially when you break up and most people just run off into another relationship and they just keep spending their money on shit that does not matter. And it's all fueling Disney and whoever else, you know, profits off of relationships going great. It's everyone, right? Restaurants, jewelers, I don't know, bro. Be alone. Be in your spirit so that when you actually meet people, you don't have hella negative baggage. Because most people hate being alone to where they create their own problems. And that's where these entities have all these spirits just creating so many negative hell squares and pyramids off of their negative idea. And I'm really trying to get you to break out of these ideas and know that at the very least, if you are operating inside of an idea, that you believe in yourself, please. This is what we're talking about here. We're talking about believing in your entire spirit so that you can see how everything is inside of you. Everything's conforming to you. It's not you conforming to an idea and then being restricted from true possibilities, and the people, the entities that set up that idea enjoy all possibilities out here. Right? Like, if an entity makes you believe that you're going to go to hell, and then they're over here just enjoying infinite realms, but then you, because you think you're going to go to hell, you start worshiping them, and then instead you go to their heaven, but their heaven is still the same place as hell, because they needed to convince you to just go to this space in the first place. Either way, you're inside of them, and you're helping them get all possibilities. That's not fair. That's just not fair to me. And that's really fucking up higher realms, and it's a lot of the warfare here. This is the colonization that when, again, I always talk about the Native Americans and the history of this country, because that's what I'm invested in. This is how it manifested physically down here. The white supremacists, the light supremacists, Illuminati, Freemason, spirits, whatever, like, those are just names. Masks, really? All the colonization of this planet is a physical manifestation of how this happens mentally and spiritually. So you got to break yourself out of the box, create your own ideas, believe in your own spirit. I love you. I hope this was helpful. I could get into examples of ideas, problems, solutions, conclusions all day. If you can think of one, leave it in the comments below. I'm about to meditate. Bless.